Hello, this is Coffee Break with Ninita, a daily guide of coping skills that gets us through by making us strong. The obvious is not always the best way. What I mean by that is often we think that the solution to a bad relationship is separation, is getting apart. Yes, there are times that this is something you cannot avoid, inevitable. However, there are times when the relationship is bad between two people that care and love each other because of two reasons. The one reason is their backgrounds, and the second reason is lack of coping skills. What I mean by background, I mean that if they grew up in settings where when there was a conflict, it was resolved with arguing, screaming, fighting. Unfortunately, this is a common language used when there is a conflict. Screaming, yelling, being violent, and in the end, getting out. It is not necessary to follow this approach when we are given the opportunity of coping skills. In other words, how can we resolve a difference? How can we resolve a conflict? Therefore, instead of trying to see who is right and who is wrong, maybe you want to explore the possibility of how can you make peace with the other person's ideas. In other words, instead of trying others to see our point, maybe we need to start seeing the other person's points first. Instead of expecting others to agree with us, maybe we want to try to first agree with others. When we are in a loving relationship, of course there are going to be differences. Of course there are going to be times where there are disagreements. The disagreement is not what causes the problem. It is what we do with disagreements that cause the problem. Therefore, when there is a conflict, first and foremost, we need to tell the other person, let's talk about it when we are both calmer. And also, I don't want to argue, I don't want to fight, I just want to see your point. I just want to understand what is that you're trying to talk to me about that I cannot see. In other words, let the words that come out of your mouth not be words of attack, but words of compromising. It is very important that we will allow the discussion to develop. Remember, even when we see others being wrong, letting them talk and expressing themselves very often points the way that can help the discussion be more peaceful. Because often we want to be heard before we want others to agree with us. Don't take me wrong. Of course we want others to agree with us. But let's try to give them our attention and let them talk and not to feel that they are being a burden or annoyance. Let them feel we are interested in their viewpoint, in what they have to say. Because even if we don't agree, we need to show respect and consideration to what the others say. Again, even if we don't agree. In relationships between spouses, between siblings, between friends, it is very important that we will begin listening when especially we don't agree what the others have to say. Listening is the way of reaching peace in the end. Not arguing, not correcting, not confronting, listening. And then we can reflect the emotion we see in them, such as, I see you're very upset. I see you're very convinced of what you're saying. And not to add the but that has a tendency of dismissing what the other person said. I'm not asking you to agree with what you don't agree. I'm asking you to use tools that help relationships grow and develop through communication. When we disagree, the communication ends. When we listen and we allow the other person to express themselves before we express ourselves, helps the communication go beyond the initial disagreement and reach compromise.
We thank you for listening to Coffee Break with Ninita. Our goal is to help our StayWHOLE community work through their challenges. Please join this cause by supporting us on Patreon. You can do that for the price of just 1 cup of coffee per month. Just click on the Patreon link in the podcast description below, or simply visit us at www.patreon.com/StayWHOLE. We appreciate you and hope we can help you stay whole.